Connie, I got it. Recorded meeting in progress. All right, so we'll call the meeting to order. It's 11:01. Sadly, Ed can't make it today, so I'm going to cover our conversation as best I can later on in the meeting there. He had an emergency come up. He's been busy as hell, traveling all over the country, doing cases and lawsuits and legislative work. And I don't know how he does it. He's on the plane or always in meetings. Anyway. All right, so you all got the minutes and the agenda in the mail for 1/13/22, and all that stuff is on the website, on the officer page, and then the video and supporting documents tab. And you'll see 113 on there with all the minutes, the agenda, the financial report, the video, blah, blah. So anyway, hopefully you've read the minutes, and we always make a motion to dispense with the minutes for 113. So would somebody make a motion, please?
Make a motion to dispense with the minute.
All right, second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay, financial report, Connie.
Well, I don't have much to report because I have not added or debited anything as of, well, for a bit now, because I'm still waiting to see if we're going to continue to accept donations or not.
Right.
So everything is what you see right there.
All right. Yeah, the RCB Bank, after we paid Ed, is 2951 left in there. And I'll talk about the fundraising, as Connie had just said. As I've told you, our finances are very low, obviously. Our tentative budget that I went over in the last meeting is we've reduced a lot of cost. And of course, we hope to reduce more once we join up with that, as far as website and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what Ed shared with me, and so we'll discuss all that. So anyway, that's our balance right there, 2951.47. We haven't taken donations. We'll talk about that in a minute. And that's where we stand. So can I have a motion to accept the financial report as read, please?
I make a motion, we accept the financial report.
All right, second?
A second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hey,
All right, so obviously in old business, the biggest thing was we suspended our relationship with Benestar. There's too much what's going on, some legalities there with Benestar and some bad news, and people were picking up on it, and they weren't fulfilling the contract. The marketing they did not do, and the website they did not do, and they were arguing with Paul, as I told you, Paul Zerato, who is their IT guy that we had met with a number of times, promised us all kinds of great stuff, and the guy's great, but Benestar no longer wanted to pay him any more money. They paid him $40,000 originally, and Paul was claiming that that was research, and then to follow up and do this work, the web crawler, the marketing, the new website, would cost Benestar more, and they got into a pissing match with them, to put it bluntly. They weren't fulfilling their timeline. Here we were having meetings with Anthem, and they haven't even got these darn things in place. You know, after 4 or 5 delays and cancellations of a kickoff, and then here we are again, and they still hadn't gotten their act together. And I said, Dad, that's enough. I'm done. And the board, you know, felt the same way. You know, it's time to cut our losses with these people and get the hell out. Now, I did hear that the only problem is with this whole Benestar thing is 5 people did sign up for Anthem. So Ed's working that out with Don Trudeau over there at Benestar to see what we do with those 5 clients that did sign up for the Medicare Advantage plan, the group Medicare Advantage plan with Anthem. So that's a little hiccup in the break in all this. So that's where that stands. All right. New business. I just put these down. We will discuss these. Our initiatives for 2022. Here's the first thing, Connie, right off the bat, financial report. Ed says, go ahead and start the fundraising again. He says, we'll get it set up so that they could do it either way. They could join Retirees for Justice and we get a part, or, you know, there's a number of ways we're looking at this, but we could start it up and then we'll join in with Ed and we'll dispense some money as needed as part of Retirees for Justice. I was hoping Ed would be here to share his thoughts on that, but we haven't finalized that. So next time Ed is with us, maybe we'll have a special meeting because we really need to nail this down, being a subsidy of Retirees for Justice as an independent incorporated nonprofit, and how we're going to do this fundraising. You know, so we really need to nail that down because we need to open it back up. We got $2,700 and whatever it was up there, 59 or something, 27.59. That's what we got left. So we need to do that. The group healthcare, Ed is starting a new initiative on this in the Retirees for Justice, which we would benefit from. We're not sure yet whether it be a broker type plan like VIA or be a group healthcare plan. That's all being discussed. So the reason I mentioned this because it still offers another benefit to our membership, an enticement, if you will, for them to come in and join us. Hopefully, you know how these retirees have been. It's been like pulling teeth to try to get them to join and give us a donation. He's also talking about a life insurance initiative. You know, I've seen online, I think you guys, if you've been following on Facebook, there's a lot of people are complaining about GE raising their premium rates for life insurance. And they've gone from like $120 to $300, and people are really complaining, saying this is baloney. You know, back in the day with life insurance or any kind of insurance, that GE had group plans and they got great discounts from like MetLife and the other companies to provide that insurance. But it seems like they're trying to push us out. That's the way I feel. They want us to get out and get our own. You know, they don't want to manage nothing anymore. All right, so then the other initiative is the future of us being a subsidy and finalizing all that, and Ed getting us on the website and doing all that kind of stuff. So that's all in process. It's working on it. Again, I was hoping Ed would be here today so we could talk about that. The next one is the pension risk, the de-risking, I should say. De-risking is an ongoing concern. GE's not done, and they've made it clear that the door is still open to doing more de-risking, and they're going to break up, as you know, into 3 companies. And where's the money going? You know, they haven't answered those questions yet. Where's the trust fund going? What of one of those 3 companies is going to hold the trust fund, or is it going to be broken up by geographical area or what? You know, and what is the strategy going forward? And in my mind, and in Ed's mind, and I think you all concur, GE's going to do more pension de-risking. There's no doubt about it. They're going to sell it off to an insurance company as annuity, and that changes the whole protection part of it as far as a recent PBGC, because you're under state mandate. So that's going to be an ongoing concern. Life insurance, pension, healthcare, it's always a concern. They're pushing us out. And if anybody doesn't believe that, they need their head examined. GE doesn't want any part of that anymore. And so that next item is GE's new structure. We're still waiting to hear their answers, you know, how they're going to do this. They said they'd keep us informed after they did that one webinar online with that woman, that top woman that's over this project. I forget her name right off the top of my head. But she said she'd give us constant updates. Well, we haven't had an update since, and probably because they haven't made any decisions yet. And they're probably, even though the union size has gotten very small, they're probably considering the fact that they're going to have to talk to the union as far as a vested benefit for negotiations, whether they like it or not, or else they're going to face lawsuits again. So they're going slowly and cautiously is my point to you. They're going slowly and cautiously. Facebook and our formal website, the next bullet item. Facebook, we all agreed we'll keep that going. The formal website. Ed is now proposing that we keep our website. And I wish he was here to share his thoughts on that. Maybe I got something down here below. He thought it might be cleaner that way because we do have a lot of information on our website. And it's only like $19 a month without the maintenance fee, which was the big part. It's $19 a month. So we need to talk on that.
I just think that website's a disaster.
You know, why? Security, Bob? Is that what you're thinking, maybe?
It's just too dangerous.
Yeah.
We don't
Now,
have
see-
security. We don't have anybody that knows how to take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the maintenance thing was a disaster as far as taking care of it. I agree with you. We do have a website security package. Bob, me and you we'll have to discuss that because you got a lot of experience in that area. And we'll have to discuss that. Matter of fact, maybe me, you, and GoDaddy get on the phone and discuss that, you know, the website security feature. What do you think?
Well, I don't think you take any of my advice, so I don't know what good it's going to do, but I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, I don't take anybody's advice. I just asked for your advice, you monkey.
I'd like to be frank. Sorry.
No, I thought you
You're
named me
Bob.
Bob.
You're not Frank, you're Bob.
Yeah, thank you, Connie. But we'll work on that. Me, you, and GoDaddy. We're gonna.
I never thought of that before I said it, did I?
Okay.
Well, let's just call him Frank from now on.
Yeah, let's go. We're gonna call you Frank. Yeah, I like that, Connie. It's a new nickname.
Thanks
That's all right.
for the smile anyway.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Now, we all agreed and voted to authorize the $2,500 payment. I understand that, you know, and again, you know, for Ed's work as a lawyer, you know, we gave him $1,500 on the first payment miss, and still, you know, he gets a half more than that. So he's been gracious to us, and you know, we work with him, and I'm on his board and all that jazz. So, you know, Ed's been good to us. He's represented us without any payment, you know, if you will. All right, so transition to, here's what we discussed, the transition to retirees for justice. Any questions on any of those initiatives? Any additions anybody wants to make? Any comments, concerns on any of those initiatives? Yeah, Bob.
I'll just ask you to please, wherever we have information going out, do not put something on there before it's officially final.
Yeah.
It just gives us all so many headaches that
Right.
it's not worth it.
Right. Okay. It's a good point. It's a good point. I know I've jumped the gun a number of times and then we have to backpedal. I know, you know, because I thought Benestar would keep their word and do what they're supposed to do, but they didn't, over and over and over. All right. So we talked about what pages we would have on his website and a link to our website. That's like Ed said, he recommended we keep the website. Postings, you know, I asked him, you know, how about putting our de-risking webinar on his site? Because his site, if anybody's looked at retirieesforjustice.org, you'll see that it's mainly about de-risking and legislative and all that stuff and who the partners are. Like Beltel is a big organization, is one of the partners, and there's other organizations. So I said to him, you know, let's put that webinar up there and put us on your site as a partner, another partner, with some information and a link to our website, you know, and stuff like that. Again, you know, going back to the fundraising before I forget this, Connie, there's a way to do fundraising also on Facebook, isn't there?
What do you
I'm
mean?
wondering if that would be more effective to do fundraising on Facebook than it would be on our website. I mean, we could keep both, but I'm just saying, I think there's a way you can do fundraising on Facebook. And more people probably read Facebook than read our website, is my point. Can you look into that a little bit?
Yeah, there are ways to do that. Most of them are already preset, like you give to veteran organizations or the Red Cross or something like that. It's somebody will put on their, for their birthdays, please donate to such and such organization in my behalf.
Right.
Now, how to
Right.
get
I
that-
could have sworn I saw something a little more like for your page, your group, we're a group. We're not just a page. That you could have a fundraising button or something like that. I forget. I was looking at it just briefly. And Connie, you got more experience with Facebook than I do. So if you could just look at that and then we could talk about it.
Okay.
You're not talking about a GoFundMe page, are you?
No, not a GoFundMe page. No, it's like a button, Brian, the way I remember it. And again,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at it. All right, so, and that's why I got down here on the agenda, how to handle fundraising and donations. What better ways can we communicate, even though I send a retiree newsletter to them and still, I mean, some respond, as you know, but we're dropping. You all know we're dropping in people contributing. We're down to 21 this year. Our high back in the lawsuits was 250. We're down to 71 people that contributed. That's pathetic.
Well, I think we're still going to have some more problems because of the Thomas Jones controversy that got going about a week or so ago. He is now a moderator on the other website. And of course, he's been asking for financial disclosure since he's got booted off our site.
Yeah.
He's asked people on the new site he's on, GE Retirees, to start asking us for financial disclosure.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna cause problems.
Well, my answer to that is, and if Connie, I think had asked him, are you even a member? And if he wants to become a member with us and register with us and give us some kind of donation, he can go to the membership page and he can look at our tentative budget. He can look at it. He won't be able to get into our financials because they're on the officer page, but he can look at the tentative budget to see where we're spending our money.
It's a mood issue with him because he's not going to be back on our group.
Oh, okay.
No, I know he's not
I
going to be
mean,
back.
I don't
on
feel
our
like he
group,
should.
but he's
Huh?
still going to have access through some of his minions as to what we're doing, and he's going to put up concerns on his new website about everything. I mean, he checks out everything.
Yeah,
But he
Yeah,
can't
we
get
do.
into our finances if he's not a member.
that's right. You
Of
can.
course, he might have
So
some
even
other
if he
snake
looks at the
like he was a
finances,
snake.
what's he gonna find? I mean, what's he gonna find?
You ain't gonna
Right.
find nothing.
We don't
other
have
than
anything. We're
poor.
volunteers. I wouldn't
Yeah.
worry about it. Let him see whatever the hell he wants to.
Yeah,
Yep.
And shut him out.
Anyway, even if he's not on there, I'm sure he's going to have a snake, just like he was a snake for his people over there.
yeah, exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
Rod's right.
Well,
We don't have anything to hide. We're all friggin' volunteers. I mean, what the hell? Let him see
I
it.
know. Nobody's getting a salary here. Nobody's, we're not, we run out of money before we have money, for God's sake. What does he think? We're doling out to each other here, going on trips or some damn thing? What's his problem, this guy?
Well, the trips ended when she left. So, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So anyway, I hope he doesn't come back, but as everybody said, I know Pam Shipley checks our thing. I know Connie McDonough checks our thing, and they're all in with Melody and this guy and
Well, they're admin.
John Tyler's taking a negative attitude towards us. One of the administrators there started the group. And I confronted John, and his point was, I can't even remember exactly. It's not going to be verbatim, but it's like, well, we'll do what we want to do over here. And if we don't like something, we'll say it or something like that. That isn't verbatim, folks. So I don't want to distort it. But I don't know what the antagonism is about, because we all should be working for one goal, to help retirees and dependents, period. That's the goal of what we all do. And
All the detractors will, well, they'll have to eat crow, because once they get this all split up with GE and they really start screwing with us, we're going to be able to say, you know, we told you so, instead of trying to work together.
Mhm,
We're all doing our own different things. And
mhm.
guess what?
Exactly.
GE did their thing. And now we're getting screwed.
one of GE's main strategies, even back negotiating with the unions for the regular contract, was to divide and conquer. That was always their strategy. Get the one union going against the other union, or one local or retiree group against the other one, so that they get what they want through on the contract. Same thing here. Divide and conquer, and these fools are falling for it. They're falling for it. Sadly, and not just the Facebook groups, the retiree groups, you know, like Nabbit and Erie and Lynn and all the rest of them. They love to create division, believe me. Okay, so part of this talk I had with Ed, and he's talking about, you know, if we get into this, he wants to have a talk with Paul that was with Benestar there. Paul's an independent contractor. Benestar had hired him. So there's no problem or conflict of interest there. We could talk to Paul about marketing, about the web crawler to bring people in. If we get into the healthcare and we get into life insurance and other things, and Paul's a crackerjack. If you guys remember the meetings we had with him, he's very, very good. So we're talking about having a talk with him again, and then if we do decide on going, what direction we're going as part of Retirees for Justice, the board will meet with Paul and meet with Ed, and we'll go over this stuff. The other thing Ed asked me for is, let me go down to the next bullet item, then I'll come back to Dennis. There's a law firm. It's called Winston and Strawn is the name of the law firm. They did a thing where they said, you know, they didn't say GE, but my inference is that from this thing that down here below that I'm moving the cursor on, what they wrote in the article is they cannot force people to join like a private healthcare marketing company like VIA. It has to be completely voluntary, and they cannot tie, they call it an HRA, but the RRA is the same thing. They cannot tie that to you either sign up with us, or you don't get your RRA. And I brought this up to Ed, you know, and I said, Ed, we need to investigate this. They're forcing people to go, like if we had continued to go with Benestar and Anthem, they're forcing people to stay with VIA when we might have another offering or offerings, and making it contingent. You ain't going to get your RRA or catastrophic coverage unless you stay with VIA benefits. Well, I don't think it's legal. And Ed don't think it's legal. He said that he's going to assign a lawyer to this that's interested in this topic. He's going to assign a lawyer to look into this, that people should have a choice of where they want to go and not be tied and restricted by VIA benefits. So as part of that, Ed had said to me, John, do you have the timeline of when GE changed this and all that? You remember during the lawsuits 2014 for salaried and 2015 for hourly. Well, Dennis, you know, spent a lot of his own money and had he's a lawyer himself, but hired a law firm, and they did a lot of research and found out a lot of facts about how this whole thing with VIA benefits, Towers Watson is the parent company, got involved in this, and how GE cut out the healthcare and put it over to VIA benefits, which is part of Towers Watson. And Dennis knows all the facts, all the timeline. I mean, he had shared with me some of that, and some of the background and how GE came to the decision and blah, blah, and how they were going to get out of the healthcare and this is the way they were going to do it and all that stuff. Dennis knows it all, believe me. So I said to Ed, and I got a call into Dennis, I'm going to hook you up with Dennis, and he'll probably send you all the legal stuff. okay, to look at this, forcing us into this whole via benefits thing. And let me make one more comment about Towers Watson. When I was researching all this, Towers Watson is so tied into GE, they sign all kinds of different legal documents for GE. And I'm saying, holy shit, they're much more intertwined than I ever expected.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, Towers Watson's right in it with GE on all this crap. And other stuff, pension, they sign off on pension stuff, they sign off on other things. They'll probably put the bug in their ear about de-risking. You know, Towers Watson's not a retiree-friendly organization. I'm telling you right now, they're not. So we're looking into this. This is another initiative, if you will, that we'll look at throughout the year as part of the healthcare thing. We'll keep an eye on the de-risking, the pension de-risking. We'll keep an eye on life insurance. See, this is where Eddie comes in big help for us. Retirees for Justice comes into a big help for us because he's a lawyer. I mean, he knows this stuff, you know. So I sent him all this information, and he's going to have that lawyer look at all this stuff, and we might be ending up doing something legally about this, you know, that we don't have to be restricted and lose the RRA or lose catastrophic coverage because we didn't join via benefits. That's not free choice. That's not voluntary, as it says here. This law firm says it has to be completely voluntary, and you can't restrict coverage or an issuer from getting their health insurance to just like via. You see, very important, very important. You know, I've been trying to follow up on this, and now Eddie's ready to go on it. He's going to sign somebody. I talked about the life insurance concerns. He's working on that. And we got some other ideas there of possibilities of life insurance that's reasonable, that people can afford, and gives them at minimum gives them enough for burial and wake and, you know, all that stuff. Gives them enough money. All right, so pension plan de-risking, of course, Eddie says, you know, John, regardless what all those other groups and chapters say, we got to keep the eye on this thing. This is not going to end. You know what I've already explained about the company breaking up and where our money's going to go and what they're going to do, and are they going to do more de-risking? You know, the RRA is never safe either. People think it is. It isn't. All right. So those are the main initiatives I had set up. You know, looking and talking with Ed and joining Retirees for Justice. So is there anything anybody wants to make comments on or suggestions on or add to this for 2022? Yes, Bob.
If we're starting to challenge GE with this, I don't understand where we could possibly have enough money to challenge those guys in a court.
Yeah.
The bottomless pit of money they have for attorneys.
You're absolutely right. That's why Dennis had to spend his own money. And the union fought it from the union side and almost had a breakthrough. One of the three judges in the appeals court went with us and said that I don't care if it's a verbal or a handshake, it's same as written. You can write whatever you want in your SPD, but a verbal and a handshake is just as binding. But that was only one of three, so we didn't win that. And yeah, it's costly. It's definitely costly. And I don't know what Ed's thinking is. And again, I wish he was here, you know, to tell us, you know, what his thinking is if he pursues this. Now, this guy that's going to work on it, you know, working on it's one thing, Bob, and filing the suits and incurring expense is another thing, obviously.
Well, we all know how GE would just keep badgering you until you run out of money, and then what do you do?
Yeah, well, Dennis could certainly testify to that because, you know, when he got to the end of it and talking about an appeal, and he asked the law firm that he was working with how much would it cost, and they said probably another 250 grand. And Dennis wasn't going to spend 250 more.
Yeah.
To keep fighting the darn thing. Yeah, that's the way G gets us over the barrel. They got all the lawyers and all, money in the world to fight us. But it's something that might be worthwhile. Maybe people would get on board. Who the hell knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's worth checking out. It's just
Yeah.
almost like a stone wall.
Yeah.
Going to
It is.
get a battery of attorneys without any money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Retirees for Justice is a big group, and maybe some of them, after we unearth this stuff, all these facts and legalities, maybe some of the other groups, big groups that are part of Eddie's thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they might want to jump in and say, yeah, it's about time we stop this erosion of retiree senior benefits. It's time to stop this stuff. They want us to die and go away. Let's be honest, folks. That's what they want.
Well, we will one day.
Yeah, 10, 20 years, the rest of us will be gone. And he has no obligation because they don't give out pensions or health care or life insurance anymore. So that's what they're hoping for. I say it to them directly in the meetings. Anybody who's been in the meetings with me, I say, you're just waiting for us to die and go away. I know what you people want. Yeah. So anything else from anybody else? Does that sound good for our initiatives for this year? And keeping our formal website, keeping our Facebook. We can talk more on the formal part of that, as we get tied into Eddie's website, but it's a big agenda. And of course, we've had a big agenda, which Benestar screwed up for us pretty good, but these are the important things: life insurance, pension de-risking, and healthcare, and of course fundraising to get there. Anybody else? No, you guys are quiet today. Okay. Any committee reports? Betsy, anything on communication, or Brian on benefits, or Rodney on outreach? Anybody got anything?
I wrote the minutes. That's all.
Okay, yeah, I could put those out to everybody. Yeah, we do a great job on those minutes. Fantastic job.
Lots of questions being asked, and membership does a really good job of giving the correct answers. I mean, I go into it 2 or 3 times a day to check, see what's going on.
Okay,
And
good.
nobody's had to contact me. I haven't had to escalate anything. So, we've got some pretty sharp members out there.
Yeah, we do. And they are good. They are good. They do. I've been reading some of them too, Brian, and they give some pretty good answers, and a combination of answers from different members. It's pretty good.
Yes, I do.
Rodney, you got anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Connie, we already talked. Connie, have you checked PayPal and Stripe? Have we got anything out there? Is Connie there or gone? Did we lose Connie?
I don't see her.
Oh,
She's gone.
Oh, okay. And of course, we're down to two trustee positions. So once we get settled here, maybe we can solicit or try to solicit some people to join as trustees. There's the meeting dates going forward for this year. And just somebody, we get Paul S back in. There was a perks info page that he was talking about. He says it has a lot of benefits for seniors and retirees. So I'd be interested. I wanted Paul to show us that before we dissolved with Benestar, but it didn't happen because of the fight they got into. But that sounds pretty interesting. It's just another draw card, a perks information, like vacations and discount stuff, discount dinners, all that kind of stuff. It draws people into your page. It's just like a user-friendly, page for them for saving money, getting discounts and stuff like that. And Paul said he had a pretty good one, pretty good organization. So I'd still be interested in doing that if we get tied back into Paul. which again, Paul is this independent contractor. He does not work for Benestar. He was contracted with Benestar, so he's open to meeting with us in the future is what I'm being told. If we're interested in going in another direction with healthcare or life insurance or anything else. As far as software and marketing and getting enrollments, you know, stuff like that. Paul's a crackerjack. All right, so and anybody got anything else they wanted to bring up? Anything you've been hearing or seeing or reading on the Facebook or anything? Anything else? What, you guys didn't take a nap or something? You all tired or what? Connie even abandoned us, that rat. Oh, I better delete that because she'll be watching the video and calling me up. All right, so then if that's it, then hopefully if we get, I get back with Eddie and we got an update, we'll have another meeting, probably quicker than the regularly scheduled meeting so that we could discuss some of these issues. I was really hoping he'd be here because he had mentioned a number of things. I tried to capture him up above here, you know, what he had said, all this stuff from section 7. I tried to capture most of it, but I'm sure he had other ideas. So if that's it, then I have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, second.
I second.
All right. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming and we'll be back in touch soon. All right. Have a good one.
Hey,
All right.
Jack.
All right.
Aye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. And meeting for all.